To get everything set up, I wanted to ask you guys, why did you come here tonight? What are you here to learn?
And what is your name?
And
what is your name?
What is your name?
Please.
Catherine's like, I came because my mommy told me to.
That's okay. It's good to listen to your mom.
I usually don't, though. So, my name is Gail, and I know both of these ladies through Little Black Dress Affair. And I came because I wanted to hear what Melissa had to teach me about myself and health and making some positive changes.
Good.
And the wine. And yeah, the wine was a little bit of a no, just kidding. And as you might have heard Melissa talking, I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 25 years. And I have my own little business where I make natural body care. Aromatherapeutic body care.
Okay, well, I'm Melissa, and I'm really new to Calgary, about like 6 weeks. I came here from Europe. I worked there, then quit my job and studied and got a master's in journalism in London. And I came to Calgary because the market here is good. There's plenty to write about. And I'm here to listen to Melissa speak and get motivated and learn from her and make some good changes in my life and adapt.
Awesome. Catherine, you have to say your name. You have to say something.
My name is Catherine, and my mom made me come. No, I'm just kidding. My name is Catherine. I work construction, and I also am in business with my mother. I have Cat Attack, which is an all-natural after-touch affair, which is going to explode very soon. So
What is it called?
Cat Attack. Cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. And I'm actually here to see what this is all about with health and wellness, even though we're drinking wine. Should be very positive.
Fruit salad. Well, grapes, you know.
Nice. And what would you like to learn?
I didn't know what this was, so this is a nice surprise.
Okay. Well, I'm going to sit while you speak. Okay?
Okay. So, how many of you would like to find more balance in work, in your schedules, in simply life in general? Sweet. How many of you would really like to have more fulfilling relationships and more meaningful relationships? Yeah.
Yes.
Sweet. And how many of you are really here to learn about how to have more energy, more confidence, and simply feel happier? Yeah. Sweet. So I think you're in the right place, and we just really want to thank you for taking the time to come and hear what we have to say today. So to go over just a few housekeeping things, can you just make sure that your cell phones are on vibrate, if they're not already? And then the whole point of this evening is to really share and get to know one another on a little bit deeper level. So we want to create this space as like a safe space. And if there's like any questions that you have or any suggestions or anything, just raise your hand and totally ask. And the way that the night's gonna work, I'll talk about what I'd like to share with you guys, and then after I'm done, we could take like a 5 or 10 minute break, and then Melissa will share what she'd like to do, and then I'm also gonna hand out a white piece of paper, and on the piece of paper, the markers, what I'd like you to write on the white piece of paper, it's just going to be one that we're handing out, is an I am statement. So I am something. Whatever it is that you believe to be true about yourself, or maybe it's something that you want to become. So I am financially free, or I am a great mom, or like whatever it is. And then at the end of the night, once everyone has written an I am statement, we're just going to go around and then recite it and say it out loud. It's just like something fun to do. And then the other thing is that when we have little exercises that we will suggest for you to partake in, we'd love for your participation, because all of us learn. There's 3 ways that we learn: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. And so if we were just to stand here and speak to you, it's pretty boring, and you wouldn't retain all the information that you could. So that's why we have a few exercises that we love you to participate in, and then listen to what we have to say. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Melissa Mackey, and I am the ultimate breakdown coach. And what that means is, in my life, I have been through a ton of breakdowns, and I'm sure that I'm going to go through a ton more of breakdowns. And so I help you through your breakdown, or I create the breakdown for you, so you can actually have access to a breakthrough. Because a lot of times when we have our breakdowns, there's like huge lessons that can be taught and learned from our breakdowns. And so essentially what I do is I help people unveil their masks and step into who they really are. Because in our lives, we have a tendency to block and create blockages and these barriers around us, and pretend to be somebody that we're really not. And we have these masks, and behind these masks there's so much that a lot of people don't know how to access. So I really help people step into who they really are. And what I find with a lot of the clients that I've worked with is that we have had things that have happened to us in our life. And so there's an event that's happened, and then we create a story around that event. And a lot of times it's we live in those stories that we start believing to be true. And I really believe that it's in our stories where our greatest gifts, talents, and opportunities lie. So that's really what I do. Just to ask for your permission, since you don't really know who I am, would it be okay if I shared kind of my story and where I came from to where I am today? Is that okay with you guys? For sure. Okay. So, from a very young age, probably the age of 7, my mom, I remember her always telling me that something must have happened to me, implying that a stranger must have touched me inappropriately or done something wrong. And so at the age of 7, I decided and I made a choice. My choice at that age was that I felt like I had this expectation to live up to my mom, and I wasn't good enough for my mom. So I made that decision when I was 7 years old that I just wasn't good enough for my mom. And from 7, it's no surprise that my early adolescent years, I was 13 and I was sexually abused. And so from the age of 7, where I made that decision, I lived my life thinking that something has happened, something's wrong, I'm not okay. And so it's almost no surprise how that incident when I was 13 had happened. From 13, I lived in and out of group homes. I was addicted to drugs. I was bullied beyond torture. It was awful. In grade 8, it was, I don't need to get into details, but it was very horrific for me in grade 8. And from there, I had a family member that attempted suicide 3 times. I had a mother that was an alcoholic. She was addicted to sleeping pills, and the list just goes on and on and on. And so for me growing up, I had a lot of challenges, obstacles that I've had to overcome, and adversities that I had to face head on. So from a really young age, I really had no clue who the heck I was. I was living in this world trying to impress my mom, my dad, my teachers, my friends. I was trying to be this person that I wasn't. And I believed to be true what everybody else was feeding me. So I grew up in life thinking I was this person that I really wasn't. And it wasn't until September of 2010, I was in a 3-year relationship with a boyfriend, and I felt like I was walking around my life fake and like I was a fraud. And I felt completely unfulfilled, not happy. I was emotionally drained, physically tired, and really I was spiritually dead. I was numb. I was so numb. I was walking around this world just numb. And in September of 2010, I decided to break up with my boyfriend and get on this quest of figuring out how to be happy, because I was just not happy with who I was. I didn't love myself. I had no respect for myself. And in that relationship, I completely lost myself, which wasn't new news to me because my entire life I really was walking around like a lost soul. I didn't know who I was. So from there, I created what's called the BOOM factor. And BOOM stands for beliefs plus overcoming obstacles equals manifestation. And so this is really the formula that I teach people how to break through their fears, their blockages, and really step into who they are and see their full potential. So from there, I have taken many courses, seminars, read tons of books. I have learned so much about myself and gone through a lot of experiences too, which is why I'm here today. I want to share with you some of the things that I've overcome and that have worked for me. What I've realized is that we really have 2 emotions in this world, love and fear. How would you describe love? Like, what does love mean to you?
I can go first.
Sure.
To me, love is acceptance. Yeah.
Actually, it was, but I was going to say unconditional.
Oh,
Sweet.
Unconditional acceptance.
Yeah.
That makes it even better.
Melissa?
Compassionate?
Nice. Cat.
Love's a choice, so.
Love's a choice.
Absolutely.
How would you describe love?
Unconditional?
Oh, it's there?
Oh. It is something you would not expect it to be. Or somewhere, even.
Okay.
It's like a undefinable.
Something or somewhere unexplainable. Is that what you said?
Unexpected.
Unexpected. I would say love is totally all of these. To me, love is expansion. Love is really opening your heart center. It's creating a space for new things to come into your life. And when you really come from a place of love, it's like you look at the world with a different perspective. It's like you have a different set of goggles on. And you're really open. You're real. I love acronyms, and what I came up with for the acronym of REAL is raw, energetic, and enthusiastic. A for authentic, and L for love. For me, it doesn't matter where I am. I could be driving in traffic and get really angry or upset about somebody that cuts me off. And for me, a great reminder is like, okay, I gotta be real. I gotta be real. I gotta be real. And it's such a great tool for me to use in any situation where you're feeling frustrated. It's like, no, bring myself back to being real. That's raw, energetic, enthusiastic, authentic, and love. And it totally shifts the way that you respond, react, and really behave in that situation. And when you're in love with you and who you really are, you really own your power. It's the power that you're meant to be. And it's that feminine, beautiful goddess that we're all on this earth for. A lot of us have gotten so caught up in the corporate world or trying to fit in or impress others, and it's more masculine than it is feminine. We don't really know how to get back into that feminine that we were first created for. So in other words, when you're operating out of love, you are operating out of your higher self, and you're really paying attention to your intuition, and you're listening to that gut instinct that a lot of us turn off. We just don't pay attention to it. So the second emotion that I think is very important is fear. And fear is where you operate out of your ego mind. And the ego's job is really to keep us safe and protected. So essentially, it's like keeping us in our comfort zone. And when we're in our comfort zone, we don't want to step up or step out into that person that we're really meant to be. How many times in life has fear, a fear, or several fears held you back?
I don't know if I can count that high.
So do you know how old I am?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not really alone, because I think all of us have experienced fear in some way, shape, or form. And if you think about it, fear doesn't even really exist. Fear is like a story that we've created in our own imagination. So that's like going back to when I first mentioned these stories that we create and we start to believe that aren't even true. And these are stories that we create at a subconscious level. So we do things that we don't even pay attention that we're doing. It's just automatic. And fear has another acronym. It's like forget everything and run, or false evidence appearing real. And if you think about it, if I was to ask you to go and get me a 5-pound bag of fear, could you actually do it? No, because it doesn't exist. So it's like we're projecting our fear, which is a projection onto our future based on a past experience. And it really doesn't make any sense at all. So I really feel that it's time for us, especially as women, to connect, support, and help one another get through these fears and face them head on. Because on the other side is where we have so much potential. One thing that I would like to recommend to get out of your comfort zone, where that ego likes to keep us, is to do something that scares you. Last Sunday morning, I was walking my dog along 17th Ave, and we are so focused and driven in life that it's like, most of the time we're walking and our head is down. The last thing we want to do is talk to someone. And I was walking my dog, and I saw a guy, he was putting money into the newspaper thing to take a newspaper out. And I was walking by, and the sun was shining, it was a chilly morning, and I just looked at him and I was like, good morning. And it was really getting out of my comfort zone, because for me, on a daily basis, I don't say, good morning, good afternoon, how was your day today? And it was like, it was so amazing and beautiful to see, because he looked at me and it was just like, whoa. And I have no clue what his story is. This may be a guy that is all alone. He has no one to talk to. I may have just set his day up for the best day ever. And it's like these small things in life that make the world of a difference. And for us, to get out of our comfort zone every day, even a small thing like that, it only increases your context for your comfort zone. So the larger your comfort zone grows, the less your fears become. It's so amazing. And it's like really stepping into your courage and facing that fear head on. So switching gears a bit, I have a question. If you could have anything in the world right now, what would that be? If you could have anything.
Don't say Jesus.
I could live in Mexico.
Live in Mexico?
Yep. Somewhere warm.
If you could have anything in the world, what would it be?
The ability to perform magic at will.
To perform magic at will?
She wants superpowers.
Tell me that would be cool.
That would be cool. To like fly and be invisible.
Exactly. Or
Teleport
take the
yourself.
words-
Teleport yourself to like more places.
I know.
That's really
This is where I want to be today.
If you could have anything in the world, what would that be?
Boyfriend.
I would like to not have to work. Not have to work.
Mm.
Doesn't mean I do like working,
Yeah.
but to not have to work. So it doesn't look like money to me. Like, that doesn't mean like money. It just means
Like you could work if you wanted to.
exactly.
Like you don't have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And world peace.
More.
This is not Miss Universe.
Oh my god.
This congeniality. You've seen that, right? So in the end, she finally has to say, and.
Mine's really ambitious. My own show, like a TV show.
You and I need to hang out.
All right.
So, my question to you is, with what you've said here, have you actually visualized it before? Or did you just think about it right now? Like, do you think about it on a constant basis?
For me, I wouldn't say constant. It's pretty intermittent, but it's at least a couple of times a week.
Same.
I just started. I know I could.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be hard to. I'm very confident though. Like I'm a confident person.
That's good.
I know it can be done.
Sweet.
I think about it all the time.
So, was yours doing magic?
Yeah.
Trust the spirit. So then, would you guys agree for any of these or anything that you really want to manifest in your life? You must first visualize it, or you need to see it first before you can believe it. Would you agree?
You have to see it first?
Yeah, you have to see it, like create that picture in your mind, like a visualization. Like you need to actually, for you to live in Mexico, you already have like your picture in your mind that you're lying on a beach, having a pina colada, like whatever that looks like to you.
Huh.
So a lot of what we do in life, we would like what we would like to be, what we would like to do, what we would like to have. We all need to visualize it first in order for it to become a reality. So, what do you believe to be true about yourself right now? What is it that you believe to be true about yourself?
That I think is true about myself? I'm a very amazing person. So I know that.
Oh yeah, let's have evidence that I'm amazing.
There's a rule, you can't use the same one.
You fail.
About myself, I really think that it's taken me a long time to get where I am, and I'm always in the right place at the right time.
And how about you, Gail?
Well, I believe that I'm working really hard to get to my goal, but I know that I haven't really completely visualized it. I don't know what it looks like.
But what do you believe to
What do you
be
believe
true
about yourself?
about yourself?
That I worked really hard towards getting there, and so
Yeah.
that I'm ambitious enough to do it.
So you know you're a hard worker
Yes.
and you're ambitious.
Yes.
Sweet.
The same. I work hard, I'm ambitious, and I know I have like all the tools necessary to get my own TV show, but at this point I'm just frustrated.
Sweet. Thanks for the honesty. I know for myself and a lot of women that I've worked with before, they find a huge disconnect between being that like real feminine and the masculine, because we have taken on so many roles of being the mom, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, taking them to their activities, or just in our own life. It's like managing what we have to do on a daily basis, which is really stepping into a more masculine role. And we wonder why in our life there's not like a nice constant flow. And when we step into our own true feminine, like goddess energy, it's like everything in life just seems to be working. And what I mean by that is that when we are really in the flow and things seem to be on, you're really productive, you have a lot of energy, you're just getting things done with no hesitation. I found there's two crucial things to this. And the first is we're asking for support, but we're actually being clear on the support that we're asking for. So to give you an example, I know for myself, my family and my friends, I have said, all I really want from you guys is for you just to support me. And then they would tell me that they are supporting me, but I feel I'm all alone. As soon as I mention that I feel like I'm all alone and I'm actually chatting or coaching other women, they are having the exact same feeling of feeling alone. Like you have to do all of these things, maintain your life, have that balance, and you feel alone. But there's a disconnect because you're not clear and concise on the support that you're actually asking for. And in this world, there is so many people that actually want to help us. It's just a matter of us stepping into that true feminine goddess power and owning who we are and really asking for what we want and being clear on it. And the second thing is that your intentions and goals, so these would be, I would say some of these would be goals. So the exact same thing goes for your intention and goals. So it's like, if we have our intention over here, and the mechanics or the how. So this is intention or goal. So when we have our intention or goal here and it's completely clear and concise, the how figures itself out. I know for myself, I have been so caught up on how I'm gonna figure out how something's gonna work or a task that I want to get done. I am so focused in the mechanics over here that the intention, it's not happening. The goal is lost, it's not working. And I find, and I look back in my life when things are in a constant flow, I'm really owning who I am, standing up for what I believe in, asking for the support, and my intention and goal is completely clear. So when you really want something and desire something in life and you're completely clear, it's the law of momentum. What you're putting out, you're only going to get back. So that's a really neat thing. What I've also found is that when you really own who you are and the power that lies within that, is that you open up and you can share your story and share who you really are and the obstacles and the adversities and everything that you've overcome in your life. So many other women share the same stories and we share the same feelings, and we're actually all not alone. All of us are walking around this life having all the same feelings, yet none of us is speaking up. And so that's really why I am standing here, because I enjoy sharing my story and hope that it gives some sort of inspiration to you to take that next step or that next action in your life. And that really goes back to we start creating these stories that we believe to be true about who we are, and we really have no idea. I know for myself that I've struggled with this big time, because all my life, ever since I was a young girl, I made that decision that I was all alone. I didn't know who I was. And I've been very independent and that decision maker, that risk taker, and that's more geared towards the masculine. And so now I'm really into women rising up and stepping into that true feminine power and that goddess energy that we deserve and the world deserves. So how do we do this? Like, how do we actually step into that feminine goddess energy? Does everyone know, or how would you define what a goddess is? Or stepping into your feminine energy. Like, what does that mean to you?
Confidence.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always the first one to answer. It's like, okay, guys.
Beautiful. Yeah, totally.
For me, when I really started getting comfortable with being a woman, I was very independent also, and I didn't need help with anything ever. And now I'm okay with people opening a door for me or taking my groceries. Yes, I'm capable, but if somebody wants to do it for me, I can allow them to give me that gift. And before, I couldn't receive. I was not open to receiving. I was open to giving. I can help you with your groceries. I will hold the door for you, but I don't need that. I don't need your handout for whatever it was. Do you know? That's kind of, I guess, how I looked at it. But now I'm more comfortable with myself, and if you're going to hold the door open for me, I will let you, and I'll say thank you. And then I'll go about the rest of my day, and it doesn't bother me anymore. Like, you thought I couldn't hold the door open for myself.
So is that like more sort of geared towards like self-love?
It might be, but I think, I don't know, I guess I was always small, and I was a girl, and you know, small girls can't do stuff, and I was like, I can do stuff, I can pick stuff up, I can, you know, I don't need your help to hold doors or what, you know, that, I don't know if that's a really good example, but.
Cool.
So So I don't know that I even know the answer to that because I've been a giver forever, right? And then that's kind of how my life has gone. I'm the oldest
You're the oldest
of
sibling?
5 girls.
Yeah.
I had a sneeze coming up. I'm the oldest of 5 girls, and I'm a nurse. Or maybe I'm gonna cry. I don't know. And so I've always
that's
given.
okay.
I've always given, and I don't want to take because I don't need to. I can damn well do myself.
So, let me ask you, if you feel that you've always been the giver and you don't want to take, would you say that it may have something to do with you possibly feeling like you don't deserve to take?
Could be. Well, I guess I make the choice of not to worry about it, right?
But you do,
'Cause it's
'cause you're
easier.
crying.
Well, because we're opening up.
Good.
Totally.
But the thing is that I don't worry about it. Like, so I'm the giver, and people are takers, and just recently I've learned to at least cut them out of my life until I can deal with them and their taking. Do you know what I mean?
They were taking so much from you.
Yeah,
You had nothing left for yourself.
correct.
I've been there.
So if you could answer with one word or a couple words, what would you truly love to have more of in your life right now? Not looking at any of this, like just the word, the first word. There's a word that just popped into your head.
Time to do what I want to do for me, which is I'm trying to take that, work on my company because I don't want to have to work. I truly want my company to be independent, and I want to go and visit my factories all over the world that are making all whatever, you know.
It's not whatever. Like that's
No,
so
that's-
cool.
that
It's
is
like
so
traveling
really
the world.
Yeah. So, so I'm still in the mechanics of it, right? So I really don't. I know what my ultimate goal is, but I can't visualize it yet because maybe I don't allow myself to think in that type of a grandeur picture where, you know, I'm just going to be saying to my manager, you know, you need to put out another 10,000 bottles of that hotel wine, you know, or I can't, I'm not there yet. And I'm still just trying to go through taking the time for myself to build my empire. I just thought of that word just now.
I like it. Like I'm busy your empire.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Really cool. Thank you.
And yes, I'm a crier because I've never participated in this kind of thing before, so.
This is exactly why I do this, because I really want to help people get to the core of what it is. There is something that is standing in your way. I can feel it. I had when you were just talking about that, I had shivers that were going through my body. There's something in there that's like something happened in your life where it's that story.
Right.
Something happened, and then there was a story about whatever it was that happened. I don't know what that is, but it's like, it's something that maybe someone told you, you're dreaming too big. That's ridiculous. Because the word I'm hearing, empire, that you said you love, you just said you love, and you want to travel the world and see all these factories, that is a huge dream. And there's something that's happened in your life that maybe someone told you that your dreams are too big. Like, be realistic. I don't know. I'm just offering suggestions.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, there's something that is like, there's a barrier that maybe it's a belief that you don't believe you deserve it, or you believe that you're not worthy enough, or maybe you believe that you don't deserve that money. You know what I mean? Like, it can be so many different things. And how about yourself, Lisa?
What was the question?
I was gonna say the same thing, so.
See how we're all thinking the same thing?
It was like, what do you believe to be true about who you are? And what does it really mean to be a goddess to you?
I would say when I think about that, I think like those Victoria's Secret angels. Like,
So like an angel soaring or something?
Well, above, right?
Yeah,
The
the
goddess has this impression of being
supreme.
a cut above,
Mhm.
right?
So like just someone who doesn't pay attention to nitty gritty details, you know, like we get so caught up in stuff that we forget the big picture.
Mhm.
So I think the goddess is someone who knows the big picture and like doesn't get emotional and caught up in everyday things.
Like don't let the small things, or sweat the small things.
Yeah, like one of the things that I do is if I remember. But if I do remember, if I'm getting like overly upset about something or something happened, like an editor didn't like something or I get in a fight with my boyfriend or something dumb. If I remember, then I think of like in my mind, like I imagine a goddess just standing there looking at whatever I'm doing calmly. So it's just like analyzing how angry I'm being or whatever, and then that usually stops me getting angry, and then I focus on the big picture again. But it's only when I remember to do that, which is probably never. And I want to say it's a good dream.
So it's like almost reminding you of like love.
Something like that, but just something that a goddess just doesn't get caught up in everyday frustrations and drama. It's just like that's the goal, and that's what's really important is yourself and the goal, not because my boyfriend left the cereal box open again
Again.
and the toilet seat up again,
Yeah.
Cool. And a trail of clothes all over the apartment.
all over the floor.
So I would like to ask everyone to stand up and maybe come in a little bit closer to the table. So a lot of like what we do in life, it all stems from, or a lot of it stems from our belief systems. That is like the core of who we are. And it's our belief systems that we believe to be true about us. So I just want to do this little exercise. And what you're going to do, probably give yourself some space. Just be able to reach your hand back. You might have to come back here too. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is raise your right hand and then just bring it back as far back as you can turn. And look at where your hand has ended up. Look at what is right there on the wall. Maybe it's a wine bottle.
The door.
Yeah. Keep that mark in your head. Now, bring your arms back. And so what I want you to do is just imagine that this time around, your arm is going to shift 1 degree. 1 degree further than it was before. So when you do this time, you just pictured in your mind that you're actually moving 1 degree more, like further than you were before. So turn around again with your arm, stick your arm out, and then move all the way around. And then look where your hand is pointing. Did you guys notice that? Was it further this time? Like than it was where you ended up the first time, and when you went back the second time, was it further? Isn't that neat? It's like just to show you that that smallest increment of change can make like the biggest difference. And you just thought about this first in your head. You could actually move 1 degree further than you were before. So the reason, you can have a seat. the reason I did that is because our beliefs and the belief systems that we have in place, we forget that we actually have the power to change our beliefs. And it doesn't matter where our beliefs came from, who told us, or what. We have the power to change those beliefs. So this goes to say that we must first see it in our mind in order for it to become a reality physically in front of us. So my question to you is, who would you like to become? I don't know, you're just in my perfect view.
Her first.
Sure, Melissa. Who do you want to become?
Think.
Yeah, I did.
No, not associated with a career or anything like that. Like, who is the person that you want to become? Like, do you want to become that person that is like just full of life and like vibrant and like energetic? Or do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Not, I want to become like a lawyer or a doctor, not associating like a tag with it.
So I can start if you're uncomfortable because I have.
Yeah.
I would like to have a better memory, and this is just also, I don't know, something you said made me think of this. It's not something I harp on every day.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to be able to be that person that makes up stories for their kids. You know, like you read in books and it's like, my mom was always cooking dinner, telling me this, you know, wacky story, right? But yeah.
So you want to become a great storyteller.
Yeah, well, it would be fun to be able to do that, I guess. But yeah, it's not the thing that bugs me every day.
Yeah. No, but that's amazing. A great storyteller is amazing because it's in the stories that you could, if you had the ability to be a great storyteller, you could be sharing these stories with your kids that had like super valuable lessons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like huge, totally huge.
That also actually goes with the better memory. If you could remember the stories you could tell.
Yeah.
Something happened to me. I think it was me. It might have been my sister. You know, like.
Sweet. Thank you. Melissa.
I wanted, when you said that, I thought of like a person, but like a famous person, not like a trait or anything.
Not at all.
That's fine? No?
Like, just who do you want to become? Not like a famous person, not associating it with anybody.
Just, I guess, more courageous journalist, I guess. You know, someone who's just not afraid to grab her camera and just go across the street and find a story or something like that.
I love that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
No fear. Yeah.
So she wants to become fearless.
Yes, fearless.
That's
Exactly.
good.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to become a well-known philanthropist through as kind of the rewards of the efforts that my company will be able to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, so money's not important to me. It's more the
Giving back.
So I'm a giver, and I know that. That's me. It's the takers that I have to be careful of. So I want to be a philanthropist, but I want it to be for what I want. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't always want it to be what somebody, you have to give to this cause or that cause. So
what cause? Like what?
You know what? It would probably be other women that would like to start their own business,
Okay, so
And-
women entrepreneurs in Africa in specific,
Well,
or you
honest-
have?
I'd like to start in our own backyard. I think that as Canadians, we are Canadians are very much givers, and we donate to a lot of other third world countries, and we have lots of people that need right here.
Mhm.
You know, so I'd like to start here, but that, of course, branch out, and you know, I think that we can find some good women here that can go and help in Africa. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm. So for women entrepreneurs in Canada, is there a specific like young women, or is it less fortunate women, or what does that look like?
It would probably
Everybody.
it would be everybody, but you know what? I was a mother at 16,
Mhm.
and that was the choice that I made.
Mhm.
And I think that if I might have been able to have a helping hand then,
Mhm.
so I might seek out that kind of a person that you can see. You're like, oh, all they need is
A little help.
this little help, and they're going to do wonders not only for themselves but for kids and blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and not, but I don't believe in handouts though either.
Yeah.
Does that sound weird?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
'cause-
totally. I'm just helping you get clear
Yeah.
on this. So then would it be like adolescent teen moms? And I'm not trying to make it
No,
sound awful.
Yeah, but it would probably include, because I work in the Northeast at the Peter Leahy Center,
Yeah.
and I see a lot of foreign women coming
Mhm.
into Canada, and they can't get started either.
Mhm.
You know, and they have such passion and so much to give as well, but they can't. You know what I mean? So like, I can't nail it down.
So the women who have such great potential who just need a start, they
Yeah.
just need support. They
Mhm.
need someone to believe in them.
Yep. And so I have no idea what that looks like, how I would find them, if it would be.
They would find you.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly. When you get super clear, they'll
Yeah.
flock to you. It's so true. It's so true. So I would say women entrepreneurs, philanthropists. Let's say young adults.
She should be like a talent scout for potential.
Yeah.
So I know philanthropists, they just donate and donate, so I would do that, but through an entrepreneurial woman that wants, do you know what I mean? Like Oprah.
Nice.
Oprah found those women that needed help in Africa and then building wells and stuff like that, and I just want to get them started, you know, and that's the same here, just get them started.
Mhm.
Like Cat Attack, just get her started,
Totally.
you know.
Cool. Kat or Melissa?
You go ahead.
Why are you waiting to see what I say? I like to be a more, I don't know how to explain it. Like a more beautiful person inside and outside.
What
And
is-
teach people, like a lot of people say I hide behind my tattoos, but I don't. But I'm the girl that will talk to anybody and will, you know what I mean? Like I'm very, I don't know.
So you are that real person, right?
Yes.
Right? That I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But is there something that you feel there's a disconnect?
My
Because
inner beauty, yeah. There's
Okay.
a disconnect with that.
Hmm.
I don't know.
So
When
it's like,
people talk about my eyebrows, I can use it.
why?
It's an
Or what-
insecurity. Very insecure with that. But
So
I'm
you-
at that
really?
point though, like that I don't care what other people think.
Mhm.
I am me. If you don't like me, that's
Yeah.
your problem, not mine.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure. It's like what Gail said. You don't need those
Yeah.
takers, right?
Like that's like on the beach. I had 7 different bikinis. I don't wear that stuff, but I don't care anymore
Mhm.
because I'm tired of hiding.
Yeah. Sweet.
Why?
So, would it be fair to say that you possibly want to be that beautiful goddess inside and out?
I think I am that, but I'm more worried what other people think, which I shouldn't. Right? Because I am beautiful,
Mhm.
but other people don't think that, right?
But do you really believe that?
Do I believe I'm beautiful?
Mhm.
Some days. Some days I look ugly. That's just because I'm having a day.
Yeah. So, for the person that you want to become, you just want to become beautiful inside and out.
Yeah, more confident, not care what anyone thinks. Like,
Not like
just
like
be me.
like what Melissa said, not get worried about what other people say, but not in a negative way.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? So I would say, sweet. Thanks. And how about you, Melissa?
I would like to become an internationally renowned, known authority on health that teach logical reasoning and critical thinking. I want to teach children, but I want to inspire adults to speak with, to own their own voice and speak without fear and hold to the truth and question with boldness. If things don't make sense, question it.
So international authority, international health.
I think health is so important as it relates to everything we do. And I think that my experience is really unique in the way that I was brought up and trained. And I really just want to share that with other people.
So international health advocate.
Yes, I like that word, advocate.
I like it.
Boom. Like
International health.
advocate. Advocate of health, absolutely.
Cool. So, would you all agree that what you describe is what you see, and what you see is what you describe? So what you describe is what you see, and what you see is what you describe. Does that make sense? It goes back to the idea of visualization. So visualizing it first before it can become a reality. So it's like what I see here is how I describe it. And if we're
Yes,
coming,
because if I had it in a video, I'd see it on the outside as well.
and if like, if what's going on out here, if we're truthfully coming from a place of love, it's like all we see is love. It's the perspective, like the perspective in which we see things. But we get so caught up in like what other people say, and because it's like it's hitting something in us that we don't believe about ourselves. And so one of the things I mentioned was if you're in love with who you are and the person that you want to become, others are just naturally drawn to you. It's very much like the spreadsheet before, the diagram before, where your intention and goal is over here and the mechanics are over here. It doesn't really matter what others say, how people treat you. In everything that we do, it's always room or growth, opportunity for us. And there's so many lessons to be learned in everything that happens in our life. And when we can shift that perspective in which we view things, our entire world changes. But we need to get to the core of really who we are. And it's tough work because we're facing our truths. We're facing what's happened to us. We're facing feelings that we may have suppressed from years and years and years. And those are those blocks and those masks that I was talking about earlier. It's frightful. We don't know what's on the other side because we've suppressed it for so long. But I'll tell you that when you can start facing what's really gone on in your life, not blaming others. So me, for example, when I was sexually abused when I was 13, for so many years, I blamed that guy. And he ended up dying like 8 years ago, and I've never forgiven him. It wasn't until January of this year that I I felt like I've been working through all these fears that I've had and these inside deep-rooted emotions from so much shit from my past. And one of the things that came up was from one of my trainers was, have you forgiven that guy? And I said no, because he's dead. But it doesn't really matter what goes on. If there's people that have passed on in our life, it doesn't matter that they're not here, because energetically, when you fully forgive that person, and more importantly, forgive yourself, it sets you free. My heart has never been so open my entire life, and what I realized is that I've been walking around my life with so much guilt and shame that I was disgusted in who I was, and a lot of it had to do with me not forgiving that guy and